Hi guys! Today I'm going to show you a comparison between two devices that have roughly the same price range but have a very different target audiences. We are talking about the Poco F2 Pro 6 128 and the Xiaomi Mi Note 10 with the same 6 128 configuration. As I said before, they occupy the same price range. However, the first one is aimed mainly to an audience that needs high performance in terms of CPU. In fact, it mounts the Snapdragon 8065. So, I think, for example, it represents the model with the best quality price ratio for a gamer. The second one, instead, is characterized by a camera with excellent performance. It has a 108 megapixel camera and has a battery of over 5.2 Ah, so it can be considered as a camera and a battery phone as well. So, since I have not found it on internet, I wanted to show a little comparison using the application that we use more or less every day. As you can see on the screens of the devices, I tried to collect the most common applications I use. Let's try to see what is the behavior of the two smartphones. Later, we will do a little in-depth analysis also on the photos I took at the same scene with both terminals, both in standard photo mode and in high quality photo mode, so we're talking of 64 megapixel for the Poco and 108 megapixel for the Mi Note 10. Let's try a comparison first in the opening speed of the mostly common used apps. Then let's start, for example, with Facebook. As you can see, the response time in app opening is better for Poco. It is almost always faster than the Mi Note 10. Anyway, we are going to check it together. Let's just continue. Both terminals have been recently restarted and have an identical configuration, just to make the same test scenario. As you can see, the Poco does not always prevail. Sometimes both devices have comparable performance. Here on Waze it was a little more evident, while in Gmail Poco has already won. Poco wins. Again. Continue on a game, here the difference maybe you notice even more. Well, there are some gaps. However, at least in my opinion, there is not that difference that makes the slowest device unable to complete all the tasks that we do every day with our smartphone. As you have seen, the Mi Note 10 is fast enough. Also in camera loading, Poco is a little bit faster. Let's move to the photo comparison. So, as I said before, I took some photos of the same scene with both terminals. Try to enlarge here. Okay. This is the 108 megapixel scene for the Mi Note 10. Well, paradoxically, we note that the 108 megapixel scene, that was this one, has a lower quality than that taken with the standard mode camera that we see here. Deliberately, this photo was taken in a dark scene. We see that the photo is grainy with the Poco and is grainy both in using the HD mode and in standard mode. So in the photos, at least in this scenario, the Mi Note 10 wins as expected. Continue with a backlight photo with a strong enough light behind the curtains, so it's a little bit complicated scene. Let's see what is the rendering in HD mode for the Poco and in 108 mode for the Mi Note 10. Opinion, we are at the same level on this scenario, because here with the Poco the color rendering is slightly sharper. At least color are a little bit stronger on the Poco. Try instead with the standard quality, so without forcing the number of megapixel. We have the same result. Here the photo is a little bit disturbed by the light that was on the side, while here the color rendering seems to be a little bit better. Continue with a 108 megapixel photo. You can see the texture of the staple here. And this too is not too bad. I would say that they are equivalent, if not for a different shade of color. Here prevails the blue, while here the yellow. Let's check instead in standard mode. In my opinion, the note prevails because we can see the texture a little bit better. Let's check the difference with the tricycle. Here I'm able to see the veins of the wheel, and here as well. Well, we are quite aligned as quality, even in this case in highlight condition. We are backlight, but the photos are equivalent in my opinion. Here instead we have the light behind us, and even the details of the Poco are slightly higher than the Note. We can see the texture of the vase. Let's check another photo with the light behind us. Here color is a little bit stronger, and the quality too perhaps is a little bit better. Instead, the same photo in standard mode, so without having the maximum number of megapixel, I would say same speech as before. So different color tones, but in my opinion photos are equivalent with light behind us. In this case we have the light on the left side. We can see the soil, and in my opinion there is not much difference. Let's check in standard mode. A little higher here on the Note. We can see the vein of the leaf, while on the Poco it is less clear. Well, my thought is that the two devices are overall equivalent. In terms of performance, clearly the Poco is a little bit better, while on the other side, about photography, the Note wins for a little. We have some differences in terms of dimensions. The Poco is slightly longer and is slightly heavier, while the Note is thicker. But we're talking of millimeters, so in general devices are pretty similar. Well, I will choose the device according with the usage you are going to do. So both devices are really excellent, but if you need a device to play games, you should buy the Poco. If you need to take beautiful photos and use a lot of the powerful camera of your phone, I would buy the Note. So I hope it helps and bye guys.